So I was just listening to this latest drop from Kzaggin20, talking about sometimes as a man you have to be ruthless, and this was great drop, classic drop. And when I was listening to it, I was thinking about Brodie's scale to sexual attraction because he told this story of how him and a woman were living together one time, and his standard is if he goes more than 2 days without having some sex, it's a conversation that has to be had. And when he went into this position with this individual one time, she said, "Well, I just feel like you don't take me out enough. And, if we went out some, then, you know, that was an issue." So he told her, like, listen, either you're going to break me off whenever I want to be broke off, or you're not going to like what I do next. Basically saying you're going to go fuck somebody else. And then she took his hand, he went to the room, they got it popping, and they got it popping for the next 7 days straight. Now, what I will say about this is this reminds me a lot of Brodie's scale of sexual attraction, right? Because a woman's ability to be feminine and submissive with you, sexually or non sexually, oftentimes is going to be based on a certain level of respect and desire, right? Desire and respect. So, one thing that often happens is I'm going to break it down from a perspective of my scale of sexual attraction first. So, a five. That's expressly transactional, right? A five level of sexual attraction that a woman has for a man is expressly transactional. That means she can stomach doing it, but she's not excited about it. You have to sweeten the pot by, you know, by basically being her sole financial provider. The sixth level of sexual attraction is you have to pursue her on end, right? That is the multiple dates, guys. That's you know, the pursuing her for months and months trying to get at her. That's the sixth level of sexual attraction. That's the Disney, that Disney shit. Disney movie sexual attraction, Hollywood movie sexual attraction. Typically that's around a six, right? That's where you're pursuing the woman. At the end of the movie, you finally get her. You finally getting a woman who don't really want your ass, or she would have been with it from the jump. Sex, a seven level of sexual attraction, and most relationships are at a six or a seven. A seven level of sexual attraction is where you have to make a woman comfortable, right? Which means that if you talk to her in a way that doesn't trigger her social programming, and you pursue her, or let's say you invite her over and you play all the right music and you say all the right things, then she'll break you off some, right? That's a seven level of sexual attraction. It's based off of her comfort level, her mood, which means that if she's hungry, she's sleepy, she's tired, she had a bad day, she's busy, she's not gonna fuck with you. But if the mood's right, it's the right day, she's in a good mood, then she'll do it, right? An eight level of sexual attraction is where she will do it more on your terms. Sexual attraction doesn't get on a man's terms until it reaches an eight level of sexual attraction. And sexual attraction is not the same as physical attraction. You could be a nine to a woman and be a six. I was having a conversation with a woman one time, and she said she saw me as a 10 and that she had a nine level of sexual attraction to me, which I could see through how she treated me and how she behaved, right? But she saw her ex as a nine, but she only had a six level of sexual attraction to him. And I could tell in how those two would interact with each other, right? If I was on the phone or something when they was around each other, I could just see the way she responded to him. That attraction just wasn't there. Or the same things I did, he would have been able to get away with it without her getting upset and mad at him. So an eight level of sexual attraction is where you can be straight up front about your intentions, right? Straight up front about your intentions, and then whatever's going on, she gonna be down for it because you're being straight up front, just from the jump. That's what an eight level of sexual attraction is. A nine level of sexual attraction, and eight level of sexual attraction is somewhat reactionary sex drive, which means the fact that you want it can turn her on because the attraction is high enough. Before that point where it gets up to an eight, you wanting it doesn't make her want it. You have to give her something that makes it worth her time. But at an eight, then the sex drive becomes reactionary, right? At a nine level of sexual attraction, that's when she actively desires it without you expressing any interest or desire, right? And when you're at this place, that's a good place to be at, nine level of sexual attraction, because then a woman is going to be a lot more lubricated and receptive to your masculine energy, which means you can say things that would contradict her social programming, and you can be yourself. And you should do that anyways, but I'm just telling you how a woman's going to react to it. You can say bitch around her, do whatever you want to do, and it's only going to turn her on. It's not going to turn her off. It's going to turn her on, right? And that happens around the 9 level of sexual attraction. And the 10 level of sexual attraction is a woman can be married and she'll cheat with you for it, right? A woman who would otherwise be considered a good woman. The 10 level of sexual attraction is one to where if a woman feels unsafe, she will avoid you because of that fear of a lack of control. Another thing about a 10 level of sexual attraction is a woman will still kill and destroy to get that dick. She'll do whatever. She'll pay for it when it's a 10 level of sexual attraction, right? That 10 level, that's a different level right there. So we're going from 5 to 10. 5, transactional. 6, persistence. 7, comfort. 8, direct. 9, she actively desires it. And 10, she'll be transactional with you to get it. So just breaking that down. Now, where sexual integration comes into play with this particular type of scenario is that oftentimes when it comes to casual sex, part of what a woman views as your masculinity and your dominance is the fact that you're emotionally detached. Part of what a woman views as your masculinity is the fact that you're mysterious, the fact that she doesn't know what's on your mind, the fact that you're distant, the fact that you're somewhat cold, the fact that you're not all over her. Once you get into a long-term relationship with a woman, especially if you're in a close vicinity, something that can happen is this. If you're emotionally invested, you may drop 1 or 2 points in her view of your masculinity, right? 1 or 2 points, right? And if you drop that 1 or 2 points, if the sexual attraction isn't high enough, then that woman will begin reverting back to a transactional mindset about sex. So let's say you have an 8 level of sexual attraction. You were able to approach her straight up front with your desires, and she was interested, right? If you drop 1 point, then she wants you to make her comfortable first, right? Now, I'm not saying you should be a dirty motherfucker, but if you got an 8 level sexual attraction, 9 level sexual attraction, she gonna fuck you in a dirty house. It don't matter. But once it gets to a 7, you ain't putting no hand sanitizer on. She don't know you was smoking. She wants you to wash your hands, brush your teeth first or something like that. You got to do shit to make her comfortable, right? Got to give her a massage or dote on her or whatever it is. You got to do something to fill her cup up so that she feels comfortable having sex with you, right? It becomes emotionally transactional, right? When it gets to a 6, a woman's going to be like, can you take me out more? Or she's going to say something along the lines of making sex transactional, right? And this is why it's important to have sexual compatibility and sexual attraction in a relationship, right? Now, the way Carrie went about that situation, the way Kzaggin went about that situation was that when she tried to drop it down because she got comfortable, because she thought that she had him and that he was all in and that she could overplay her hand and put him in that position, when he told her, I'll go out and get it somewhere else, feeling that he still had the options and the ability to go get other women, that raised up her level of respect for him, and it raised her view of his masculinity back up, right? So let's say it was at an 8 or a 9, right? If it was at an 8 or a 9, it dropped 1 or 2 points. Then it may have been a 7 or a 6, or it may have been, a 7 or an 8, right? But it looks like he may have been at about an 8 with her, right? And if you drop 1 or 2 points, then that would put him in the zone of where she would want him to make her feel comfortable and pursued in order for her to have sex with him. And when he took that approach of saying, hey, listen, either you doing it or somebody else will, that put her into a mindset and a perspective. When she went into scarcity mindset, her respect level rose. And when her respect level rose, her sexual attraction and desire went up with it. And they was fucking for 7 days straight, right? So this is just Brodie's take on it. Want to make this response to the latest Kzaggin video with some good shit. And this Brodie, I'm out.